We are just getting word here that this news conference is beginning, so we want to get right to that for you right now.
Conference is not to wait out in the hallway. So it's very, well, thank you everyone for being here this morning. As part of the performance of their job duties, George Kral, the safety director, and Mike Troendle, the chief of police, meet once a week. That's been a normal part of how they've operated in their roles. And in fact, I think, let's get John up here, yeah. I think you might even meet today. Today might be one of your meeting days. So it's once a week, and this week it's a Wednesday. And it was at one of their weekly meetings, I think maybe even back in April, that Chief Troendle told George that this was the year that he needed to retire, that he was going to retire this year. And that's, you know, for a combination of, I don't know, pension, family, monetary, all the forces that go into why someone might get to a point where he or she needs to retire. So that Chief Troendle communicated that to George, I think it was in April. And George then came to me and told me about that, and George and I took that as terrible, bad news because we don't want to part with Mike Troendle. He's been a fantastic chief, truly one of the best chiefs I think the city's ever had. I'm going to get into some of his accomplishments in a moment, but just the work he has done making Toledo safer, the citizens of our community owe him a tremendous debt of gratitude. So when Chief Kral told me of Chief Troendle's intent to retire, we took that as awful bad news, and we did what sometimes human beings do when they are confronted with awful bad news. We ignored it and hoped it would go away and stuck our head in the sand like an ostrich and hoped he'd change his mind. But it was maybe about a month or so later. It was actually when we were at Wayman Palmer for the Summer Activity News Conference. So that would have been May 20th. After that event, Chief Troendle actually pulled me aside and told me the same thing that he had told Chief Kral. So that is when, as much as I wanted to try to stick my head in the sand like an ostrich and hope the problem would go away, that's when I began to realize, I think he's probably serious about this. The reality is, being a chief of police, I believe, is the toughest job in America. I really believe that. And when you look at the stats, it bears it out. The average length of time that a chief of police serves in this country, whether it's a little town of 10,000 people or, you know, New York City with 7 million people, is somewhere between 2.5 and 4 years. It's in the rarest of occasions you'll get a chief that will last 6 or 7 years. I think George Kral might have lasted that long, but that is an extraordinary rarity. And so, having started in January of 23, when you do the math, it's right in that window. And so, when Chief Troendle came in and told me that back in May, that's when we began to come to terms with the unfortunate reality that we were going to be in a position where we needed a new chief of police. So today we are announcing the retirement of Chief Mike Troendle. This will be effective November 1st. Now, if you look ahead, November 1st is a Sunday, so, you know, last day in the office might be Friday, October. Being chief is a 24-hour-a-day job, so if something bad happens on Halloween, I'm sure he'll still be there to address it. But, you know, we're looking at end of October, November 1st as his final day. I can't thank him enough for his professionalism and his results, the results he has produced. My sense is that we might forget what the world looked like when he became chief in early 2023. We were coming off a year in 2021 where the city had 71 homicides. The year before he became chief, in 2022, we had 65 homicides. Today, as we stand here on July 22nd, we've had 13. We are on pace, 15. We are on pace this year, to have 25, 30 homicides, and I say it all the time, that's 25 or 30 more than we want. We don't want any, obviously, and even though intellectually we know that's probably not achievable, that is what we strive for. And so I don't mean to, this conversation sometimes can seem cold and calculated when you're talking about human life in raw numbers like that, but you just have to look at the statistics. We, at this time last year, had 26 homicides. Today we have 15. That's a 42% reduction from where we were this time last year. And we are on pace to have a 62% reduction from where we were the day he became chief. And that's just on homicides. I put an emphasis on that because that involves human life. In my judgment, that's the most important statistic. But you look at every statistic we measure, the numbers are better today than they were the day he became chief, and in many cases, they're half. The numbers have been cut in half. So when you talk about cutting homicides by 60% and burglaries and crime, everything is better today than it was the day he became chief. And he will, I think, be remembered certainly by me, but I believe citizens of Toledo as someone who inherited a tough situation and made our city better, stronger, and safer. And that is why this is a bittersweet day for me. He's done such a great job. We would love to see him continue, but after repeatedly coming and telling me and George that the time was upon us, we eventually had to take him at his word and realize that the time was upon us. So, but I'm also happy for him personally, that whatever he has in mind for the next chapter of his life, he'll be able to do it and free to do it with at least one less stress in his life. So, so that's part of what we are doing today, is to announce that this is happening, and November 1st is the day that the transition will take place. The other thing we're doing today is announcing who the next chief will be. I take seriously my role as mayor and the experiences I've had as mayor, and I, even having now been mayor as long as I have, I try to reflect on decisions I've made and decisions I will make in the future, and to try to learn from them and to try to make sure that we're making good decisions. With this announcement, this will be the 6th different chief that I've had when you, on the public safety side, so when you consider police and fire, I've had 3 fire chiefs, soon to be 3 police chiefs. So 6 different individuals, and the transition from each one of them to a new person provided me with a learning opportunity on how to do it. And there were different ways that, for each one of those, that we selected who the new person was going to be. Some processes were more elaborate than others, but I think we learned from all of them. One of the things I learned from the last time there was an opportunity to appoint a new police chief, if you reflect back to when George Kral retired and Mike Troendle came in, we went through a very public process. If you recall, City Council appropriated funds to engage with a national search firm. There were internal candidates, several of them, I want to say 6 or 7, external candidates. There were interviews, and it was all a very public process. And at the end of it, and this is just my judgment, I don't know that it was the healthiest. It produced a great result. Again, we got a fantastic chief, and I think one of the best the city's ever had. But the process that got us there, in retrospect, I don't know that it was the healthiest. It kind of created an environment, especially among some of the internal candidates, that was sort of conspired against teamwork. Maybe I'll put it that way. I think there were might have been some lingering hard feelings when it was all over, and it just devolved into. I remember we had some sitting judges who to curry favor with some special interest groups were writing open letters to the Blade about who they think the chief should be, and it just was not the way. It just wasn't helpful, and just not in retrospect the way that I think things should be done. And so I said to myself, well, if I ever get this opportunity again, we're going to do it differently. And so we did this differently. Instead of announcing Chief Troendle's retirement and then engaging some sort of a months-long process to find a new chief, we're doing both at the same time. And I think the amount of time that we have had to think about this put us in a better position to make this decision. So I know that some of this might be a surprise to the folks in the room here, but for the team, my team, our safety team, leadership on Toledo City Council, we've sort of known now for a couple months that this day was coming, and so that gave us the opportunity to reflect, to think on who a good chief would be, what we were looking for in the chief. I've had the opportunity to seek input from a number of different groups, internal and external, and I sought the guidance and wisdom of groups, public safety groups, civil rights groups, religious leaders, certainly leaders on City Council, two of whom join us today, the President of Council, Vanice Williams, and the Chair of the Public Safety Committee, John Hobbs. And after several months of these kind of quiet conversations, I've arrived at the decision that the best choice to lead the police department in the future going forward is Kevin Braun. So when Chief Troendle retires on November 1st, he will be succeeded in that role by Chief Braun. And I think he is a natural successor in a lot of ways. He's already a chief and has been a part of Chief Troendle's cabinet and has sort of worked hand in hand as it has been over the last several years. But even in these next 90 to 100 days between now and November 1st, I think there will be additional opportunities for the two of them to work together and to make for a smoother transition. So I really do think the timing of this works out very well to elevate an experienced individual who already is ready to hit the ground running. But when you augment that with 95 or 6, however many days, it's about a little more than 3 months of a transition period, I think that really will allow for the best transition possible. So who are we getting with our new chief, who is Kevin Braun? We know a lot about Mike Troendle. We know he's a Marine. We know his background. We know he served for 32 years, and we know all of his accomplishments. We might not know as much about Kevin Braun, but we will be learning about him. He is an assistant chief of the Toledo Police Department right now, and he spent more than 25 years on the force. One of the things that's attractive about him is that in his time he has performed just about every role that a police officer can perform within TPD. Every major area of the department he's been a part of it. Joined the force in December of 2000. He has worked in field operations, vice narcotics, the Public Information Unit, Community Services, and Investigative Service Division. He was a critical incident negotiator, member of the department's peer support team and the crisis intervention team. So that tells me that this is someone who's as focused on career advancement and officer wellness among his peers as he is about serving the community at large. He's earned promotions through every step of the process. He served as sergeant, lieutenant, captain, deputy chief, now assistant chief. He's a graduate of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, as I believe Chief Troendle was. I recall that about his resume. And that's one of the nation's premier leadership programs for law enforcement executives. Holds a bachelor's in criminal justice from Tiffin and a master of science in criminal justice from Bowling Green. He helped expand the department's digital communication strategy, strengthens transparency and public engagement through social media. I don't know that this is the most important thing that jumps off the page, but I do think it is an important thing. He is a graduate of Libby High School, and did I hear Go Cowboys? Okay, all right. And there is something to be said about a young man who, from, the South End, who went to Libby, understands the DNA of our community, and has risen through the ranks to serve his community now as chief of police. I think there's a powerful story there that I think is worth celebrating. So I know that this is a lot of information and a lot of talking, but this is, again, for me, it's a bittersweet day. I hate to lose Chief Troendle. He's been such a plus for our community. Has done, and the statistics speak for themselves. The city is it's night and day from where we are from a safety perspective today as to where we were when he took the job in January of '23. But I'm happy for him personally. I'm excited about the opportunities that Chief Braun will bring with him when he ascends into the role. So I want to turn this microphone over to some of the other folks you might want to hear from. I think we'll start with Chief Troendle. He can give some remarks. Then I might turn it over to the members of City Council who are with us to give their perspective. Chief Braun has a lot of supporters in this community. I can tell you, everyone I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people over these last couple months, knowing this day was coming. It is incredible how much support Chief Braun has among various different groups, social groups, religious groups. It's amazing the amount of support and goodwill he has. But if he has had a primary cheerleader, it has been the president of Toledo City Council, Vanice Williams, and she can expand on that if she wants when she takes the mic, or perhaps not. But this is someone who's got a lot of support. So we want to hear from members of City Council if they're interested in making some remarks, and then I think we'll wrap up by turning it over to the next chief of the Toledo Police Department, Kevin Braun. So with that as our agenda, let me turn it over to the Chief of Police, Mike Troendle.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I get going, I do want to recognize one thing. A lot of times as police officers, we don't always see how things work in the government aspects of the relationship between, the 22nd floor over here in the police department. But I will tell you this. As my time as chief of police, I can't think of one time where the mayor did not support the police department. So that is huge. And that makes my job a whole lot easier to be able to know that we have the support of the mayor and that he stands behind us when we're out there doing the good work that we do. It is kind of bittersweet. When I started this career in 1993, I didn't really think I would be standing here as chief of police ever, let alone seeing my retirement as chief. So, I will just say this. There's stuff that happens in every police department across the country, and sometimes, there's incidents that occur that everybody is down on. But I will tell you, you have one of the best police departments in the country. I've traveled this country a lot and visited other police departments, and the one takeaway I have is we have good, caring officers that go out there every single day and do the job. Our community is lucky that we have such great professional officers that are trained well and do the things they need to do. And, you know, as a leader, I'm proud of the work they do. I'm proud of our stats. I'm proud of the crime fighting that we got back into. You know, that transition between 2020 and 2023 were tough. So one of my primary objectives was getting our officers back out on the street, being engaged and working and doing the job that they signed up to do. And I think, you know, the proof is in the pudding, if you will. Our numbers show that they're out there doing this every single day. I will also say that, you know, the mayor mentioned the process last time, and it was pretty cutthroat within the department and caused a lot of heartache in the department. So I was happy to hear that he wasn't going to go through that process again, because I think one other important factor as a leader is succession planning. So obviously elevating Chief Braun to assistant chief and having him as a core member of my team, I was hopeful that he would be my successor, and I did everything I could to try to make this day happen. So I'm very proud to see this happen today. I'm thankful to everybody in our community, everybody in our department, and I know we're going to have a great years to come under Chief Braun. So thank everybody. I appreciate this.
Okay. Okay. I would like to turn it over to the president of Toledo City Council, and someone who's had the opportunity to work very closely with both chiefs, but in particular Chief Braun. And I don't mean to embarrass her, but really was one of the loud voices encouraging me to select him as chief, because she's been impressed with his work in the community. Vanice Williams.
Thank you, Mayor Kapsakavich. It's an honor to be here today for two reasons. Mike Troendle has become a part of my family because I call him all the time. Anytime my family's in trouble, I call Chief Troendle. He's helped me and supported me, and we've built a great relationship. Being District 4 Councilwoman and now the President of City Council, there's a lot of things that we have to work together on, whether we disagree sometimes or not, and we rarely disagreed. Even when we had topics in front of us, me and Chief Troendle were able to talk through them and kind of get both sides of our feelings on different topics. So I appreciated him always welcoming in, and I've always welcomed him in, and I've definitely appreciated his support. And I've said it too, TPD has some amazing officers. They have amazing leadership and always have, from Chief Crawl to Chief Troendle, and I know it will go even further with now Chief Kevin Braun. In the last process of selecting Chief Troendle, one thing that I did was actually go to the streets and talk to some officers and say, what are you thinking about new chief? What are you thinking about as next chief? And Kevin Braun's name came up quite a bit during that last process where it was large input from the community. So I said, let me sit down with Captain Braun at the time and let me talk to him. I met him prior when we worked together with trying to help the Greenbelt Place apartments. And it was interesting. I found out he was a graduate of Libby High School. And I said, oh, our rivals. I graduated from Scott High School, and Scott and Libby always had a rivalry in basketball and football and sports in general. I told him at the time, I said, I don't know if you would make a good chief because your school's not there anymore. Love Libby, love it, love all the alumni, but I had to take a dig at him. But even through that, I found out who he was that day, and he's shown me who he has been throughout. He's at all the community meetings. He meets with the pastors frequently. He takes his job super serious. He loves his family. He's definitely a community kid, and I appreciated just even engaging with him and growing our relationship over this time as I've been on council. District 4 is a hard district. If anyone knows, District 4 had the highest crime rate in the city of Toledo. It's went down significantly over the past 3 years because of Chief Troendle's work along with his staff. It's hard running a staff, and we have 600 plus uniform officers, but there's more than just the officers. He has to oversee over maybe 800 people. Imagine that. And when you think about doing that job for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and taking on every funeral, every child graduation, every college graduation, and still having to go home and have a life, I definitely commend anyone that takes this role. So to Chief Troendle, thank you so much for embracing me, embracing council, and always working through and getting the citizens of Toledo what they need. Toledo is safer because of Mike Troendle, and will be safer because of Kevin Braun. So I have been a cheerleader of Kevin only because he doesn't have his school anymore to go back to. I want him to feel like there's a safe space in Toledo for him, and I appreciate the work that they both have done. And I'm looking forward to council working and growing our relationship with the Toledo Police Department and seeing what the future holds. Thank you.
We have one more speaker before we get to Chief Braun, and it is George Kroll, who is currently the safety director of the city of Toledo, but he was the police chief before Mike Troendle. So actually, very inadvertently and unexpectedly, but uniquely, we are joined up here by the city of Toledo's last 3 chiefs of police, or soon to be, Braun, Troendle, and then our next speaker, George Kroll.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I am in probably one of the most unique positions of anybody in this room. I've worked with both of these men for over 20 years. Chief Troendle came on just 2 years after I did, so we basically came through the ranks together. And I saw his leadership ability and how he handled himself, and I knew eventually he was going to be chief of police. So that's why in 2017, I promoted him to deputy chief. And it was 17, right? Yeah. It may not come to a surprise to everyone, but we didn't agree on everything. And that was what I wanted. I wanted someone to challenge me and rather just say, Chief Kroll, that was a good idea, and move on. Because of that, I made him my assistant chief. And it's like the mayor said, it's kind of ironic that I made Chief Troendle my assistant, and Chief Troendle made Assistant Chief Braun his assistant, and it's moving down the ranks. So I thank you for your leadership. Now with Chief Braun, we go back a little bit farther. The first time I met him, I was a patrolman working off-duty security at the Lions store at Southwick Mall. Now, there's probably half the people in this room have never heard of the Lions store or Southwick Mall, so it was a long time ago. He was a private security officer, and I was a projecting officer. Obviously, he made his way to the city through COMO and then up through the ranks rapidly. And I saw his leadership ability, and I saw what he had to offer. That's one of the reasons why I promoted him to captain in 2018. Kevin, I look forward to helping you lead the department moving forward, and thank you for your service for both of you. Congratulations.
So today, as we celebrate Mike Troendle and his outstanding career as chief and his many successes, when you look at the statistics of where we are today versus the day he began, we are also excited to look forward to the next era at the Toledo Police Department, and that will be an era that, beginning on November 1st, will be led by the next chief of the Toledo Police Department, and we're going to hear from him now, Kevin Braun.
I want to say before I get started that I think we can build bridges in this community. If a bulldog can support a cowboy, anything's possible in this city. First and foremost, I want to thank the mayor, thank Mayor Kapsakevich for this appointment. The responsibility of this job is not lost on me. This is an incredible honor. I understand what comes with it. As the mayor pointed out, I'm a kid from this city. I went through Toledo Public Schools. The only reason I'm standing here is because of a school resource officer that I met at Libby a million years ago. So this is something that I will not take lightly. Well, it wasn't that long ago, as the council president points out, not that long ago. But I truly appreciate the confidence that the mayor and Chief Kroll are placing in me to do this job, and I don't take it lightly. And I also thank you, Councilman Hobbs and Council President Williams, for being here. I like to feel like, over the last few years, I've been able to develop a good relationship with the members of council, and I have fully plan on maintaining that relationship and helping work with them to make the department and the city a better place. I want to thank Chief Troendle, our current chief. I've had the honor and the privilege of working alongside Chief Troendle very closely for the last several years, but for many years even beyond that. He's been a friend and a mentor to me. I can't thank him enough, and I can just tell you this. This man has come into work every morning for the last several years, especially as the chief of police, and given everything that he can to this department. He's made tremendous sacrifices, and from me personally, and I know from the men and women of this police department, I just want to thank him because what goes on behind the scenes, most people never see, and Chief Troendle has given just about everything he has to this department, and I know that over the next several months, we're going to work closely, and he's going to continue to work hard to make sure that we have as smooth a transition as possible going forward. As the mayor said, my entire career has been spent here at the Toledo Police Department. You can back up a couple years before that when I wasn't old enough to become a Toledo police officer yet, so I joined the communications section as a 911 call taker. And then as soon as I was old enough to take the police test, I took it, and I was fortunate enough to get hired on this department. I've been all over the department. I've worked many different assignments. I can say without a doubt that I have worked alongside some of the most dedicated and committed men and women, both officers and civilians, that you will find anywhere in this country. So grateful to have those experiences. Those experiences, I think, have prepared me as best as I can be to take on this role. But I just look back over my time here, and I'm so grateful for all the good and all the bad, because there's been plenty of bad. But I echo Chief Troendle when he says that this is one of the finest departments in the country. It absolutely is. And all you got to do is go around and visit some other places, and you'll realize that really quick. As the chief of police, I'm going to have a very simple goal. The goal is I want the Toledo Police Department to be an organization that this community can be proud of, and I want this organization to be a place that our officers are proud to work and to serve. We will never stop building trust. We'll never stop building bridges with the community, and we'll never stop supporting our officers. Officer wellness is top of my priority list. We ask the men and women of this department to go out and do nearly an impossible job day after day, and I think it's important that they know that they'll always have my support, and anything that we can do going forward to make their lives easier, to make their jobs easier, we're going to do it. I'm extremely proud of this police department. I'm extremely proud of the men and women who serve on this police department. Their efforts do not go unnoticed by myself, the chief, the deputy chiefs, all of leadership. We talk daily about the sacrifices and the efforts that our officer gives, and I'm just so incredibly proud of them. I'm I'm honored to be given this opportunity. Again, thank you, Mayor, for this opportunity. I'm honored to lead this incredible department into the future, and I look forward to the challenge. Thank you.
With that, are there any questions? I guess we could take them, as a group, or maybe one-on-ones could be more efficient, but however you'd like. Yeah.
What do you want to see in the next chief?
Well, I want to see Kevin Braun as the next chief. And one of the reasons I selected him is because I think he is the perfect mix of someone who will provide continuity. Again, we can't lose sight of the fact that Toledo is getting safer statistically. I understand that sometimes there is a lag between the encouraging statistics that we're seeing and the public perception. I know that maybe the perception hasn't yet caught up with how much safer we are than we were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But I'm a data person, and statistically, there's just no question. I mean, when you reduce homicides by 62%, you are moving in the right direction. So one of my beliefs in looking for the next chief is that we want someone who's going to build on those successes. We don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't know that we need I'm not one who believes we need to throw out the entire police department and bring in a whole new team. No, I think we're doing good work and we're getting results. And so the first thing I want is someone who's going to be able to build on Chief Troendle's successes and provide a continuity that I think is important. And obviously Chief Braun does that, given what you heard on his bio and the fact that he's been a part of Chief Troendle's team. So the notion of competence and continuity to build on our successes was the first thing I was looking for. But I think it's just human nature in any organization to be able to benefit from a new set of eyes. Even though he's been a part of Chief Troendle's team, he's still his own man. He has his own life experiences, his own view on the world, which might, from time to time could just be a little different. When you look at a problem with a new set of eyes or a new voice, I think it's healthy for any organization from time to time to kind of have kind of refresh itself and recalibrate itself, and while building on the successes that we've had and providing that continuity, to still be sort of a fresh new voice who will be able to take his experience and lead TPD in his own way. So that's a tough job description to find someone who fits that role, but I think we found him. It is worth noting that when we went through this process last time, Chief Braun was a part of that process and actually rose very, very high in that process. Don't get me wrong, we picked the right chief at that time, and he was a great chief, and his record speaks for itself, and the stats speak for themselves. But part of what gives me comfort now is that Chief Braun rose pretty high to the top of that list of finalists last time. And so now that we went through this process, there was a comfort level that, hey, this is a person who really could have done this job when it was open, in 2023. He's now 3.5 years more seasoned. So we put, just like I do with everything, put a lot of thought into it, a lot of conversation. And I know it maybe was not happening in the public view. This might be a surprising series of announcements to the public today, but we've known about it ever since George had his meeting with Chief Troendle back in April, and then when Chief Troendle came and pulled me aside in May, we've known this day was coming. And so I've had the opportunity to do my homework and do my due diligence, and I could not be more excited about Kevin Braun and the direction he's going to take the department.
You say that you want this to be a smooth transition over the next 3 months, handing it over. You guys have been making progress. What does that transition actually look like?
Well, I think, one of the things that I think is important, one of the things that I'm focused on for these next 90 days, but then I might turn it over to one or both of them who could have their own perspective. One of the things I think we have the opportunity to do here, and I spoke with Chief Braun about it actually right before this news conference, is to have the opportunity to continue building those relationships in the community. So because these conversations will happen in an environment where everyone knows he is going to be the chief, as opposed to an environment, again, I keep contrasting it to our process last time, as opposed to an environment where he's competing to be the chief, where it was a competition and almost kind of devolved into a weird Hunger Games thing at times. I don't know if those I think this time, because of the certainty of who the chief is going to be, these next 90 days, where I imagine Chief Braun is going to be meeting with citizen groups, individual neighborhood leaders, block watch leaders, groups of pastors, NAACP groups, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders. I really believe that would be time well spent over these next 90 days to make sure that he's got his finger on the pulse of the many duties he will have. But those conversations will be happening against a backdrop of certainty that he will be the next chief, as opposed to someone, weirdly competing for it or lobbying for it, which is the dynamic we put in place last time. So I envision him spending a lot of time interacting with the many stakeholders that rely on the chief of police for leadership. And I know, and his background already suggests that he'll be able to do that well. But I think now, he's been around for 25 years in the department, but people are going to start looking at him a little differently now. Now he's not just Kevin Braun, the person who worked in Vice Narcotics at one point. Now he's, oh, geez, this is Kevin Braun, the new chief. And so people are going to look at him differently, and the conversations will be a little different. And so that's why I think these next 90 days are important. I will say one other thing. Again, it's a coincidence, but the timing, I think, is interesting and helpful, that over these, because Chief Braun's first day is November 1st. That is almost, that aligns pretty closely with the election we're having in November. And I think, as everyone knows, there's going to be a levy on the ballot, a public safety levy, that has the opportunity to infuse our safety forces, police department, fire department, and those who care about public safety with $25 million additional dollars of revenue. I think the subject matter of public safety will be on people's minds. In other words, for the next 90 days, there will be a robust public conversation about public safety, about this levy, about what we would do with what our police department and fire departments would do with $25 million more dollars, what the public would like to see with those dollars. It's already going to be a conversation that the public's going to be participating in. To be able to wed that conversation with the conversation of a new chief and the direction he would take, I just think it sets up perfectly to have a civic conversation about the direction of public safety with a new leader, possibility of additional resources. It's already going to be on the public's mind. And so these next 90 days will just be a perfect time for that. I don't know if there's anything else that, any way you would answer that other than how I did. I'll go over here.
No, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Obviously, we already work closely, and over the last year or so, I've been allowing Assistant Chief Braun to take a more active role in the running of the police department, so that will continue. As the Assistant Chief, as much as I've tried to include him in every decision and the process that happens, until you're actually in the seat, you don't know what it is until you're there, and there's a lot of demands that you think you know, but you don't know until you actually do the job. So over this next 90 days, I see him transitioning more into the day-to-day operations. Unfortunately, we've got a lot to do between now and November to address next year. Without the levy, we're going to have to do some major reorganizations. So we're already working on that. So those are things that are going to happen, but allowing him to step into the role with just a little bit of guidance, and look, he doesn't need my guidance. He's going to do just fine. It's just going to be having two heads there for a while. It's just going to make the department a little bit better, a little bit smoother when I step away in November.
Was the November 1st date chosen knowing that it's close to that election day and it's going to be on top of people's minds?
No, that didn't really come into my decision making at all. And you know, even when, I was just thinking about this when we were talking about timelines, even when Chief Kral took over as the safety director, one of our very first meetings with him is, I told him, I said, hey, look, I'm going to be retiring at some point here. And I said, I've kind of made a promise to my staff I'd stay at least through August of this year, but I won't be here any longer than January of '27. So it just kind of, it's been something that's been in the background. The mayor's talked about it before. I mean, this is a very 24/7 job. There's a lot of stressors that come into play for your family, everything else. I think probably the happiest person about retirement is probably my wife. So I'm sure she's looking forward to a lot of things for me to do around the house. But no, so the election cycle, that didn't come into play. This is more personal.
What's one thing that you would say that you're most proud of in your time as chief?
You know, I'd say our officers. Over the last 3 years, I've seen a lot of changes in our officers' mentality, wanting to be in the job. The slowing down of the attrition we were seeing, where officers were bailing out and going to other police departments. I get a lot of emails and texts and just kind of people talking, saying that they appreciate, you know, the fact that we have their back and that we're encouraging them to do their job. So creating an atmosphere for our officers to actually be allowed to do their job, I think it was very crucial, very important.
Did the recent scrutiny that the department faced following those two recent encounters involving officers and teams influence this decision? Was this always your timeline?
This was always my timeline. I don't know, it was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago when you started, when I told you this. So, I mean, it was always I was going to go. You know, there was a 6-month window there when I was going to go. I wasn't positive at that time. You know, those are high profile, obviously stressful situations. But the reality is that is 1/1000th of the actual stressors that I face on a daily basis. And so it's just something that, you know, as chief, you know, you take on that role, you understand that that's going to be part of the process. But to say that was the tipping point, no, I wouldn't say so. It was already kind of in my mind. I was getting ready for it.
What is the biggest safety challenge facing the city right now?
Juveniles and guns. I mean, we've seen it way too much. And trying to make sure that we control the amount of guns that are being out there and being used illegally. It's a tough job. It puts our officers in very difficult situations that unfortunately divulge into instances that, you know, public doesn't always agree with or doesn't like the way the outcome happens. But the reality is, making traffic stops, making subject stops, and talking to people is how you get guns off the street, and that's what our officers are out there doing.
So then for Chief Braun, looking forward, knowing that that's an issue, and then obviously the department has been facing a lot of negative attention, and there's potential issues with finances, restructuring. How do you walk into that?
Well, I think you walk into it with multiple mindsets, right? So we do have a public safety levy that's on the ballot in November. So as leadership of this police department, we almost have to have a couple of plans in place. One for if things go well in November, and one for another plan if they don't. As the chief already stated, if things don't go well with the levy in November, we have no choice. We'll have to do some restructuring, and we've already started those conversations. We don't know what it looks like right now, but we know that will be on the table if and when that happens. As far as some of the you know, negative incidents that have taken place this year, I always try to keep in mind and always try to remind people whenever I have the opportunity to talk to them that this department gets it right 99.9% of the time. Okay, we're talking about a couple of incidents when we have hundreds of thousands of citizen contacts between police and the public every year. And the overwhelming majority of those interactions are positive, they go well, we arrest people, sometimes we use force, and everything's okay, we do everything the right way. This is just the nature of this business, right? All of the negative incident gets all of the oxygen, and all the good things that happen day in and day out really don't get much press. We try to do our best internally to recognize the hard work. This is an impossible job that we ask the men and women of this department to do, and every department across the country. We put them in incredibly complex and difficult situations and expect them to handle those situations with grace, flawlessly, 100% of the time. The public expectation for the police is perfection, and we know that that's not attainable. Internally, our goal is also perfection, but we know that's not attainable. So I think, yeah, when we have an incident, we deal with it, we address it, we learn from it, we get better, as any organization should, but also trying to remind people and recognize the fact that this police department gets it right a lot, all the time, and they're doing this job every single day. Right now, they're out there taking calls, dealing with incredibly complex situations, and they're doing it with grace, and they're handling it well, and just trying to keep that in mind. And that's not to take away from some of the negative things that happen. Like I said, we're always going to learn, we're always going to grow, we're always going to improve as an organization, but our officers need to know that we also recognize how well they do day in and day out as well.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you mentioned officer wellness as one of your goals. How do you plan on making sure that that happens?
Yeah, so we have a wellness team in place now. We do better now than we ever have, okay, with our officers, and when they face a critical incident or a high-stress situation. Last week, everybody's familiar with the unfortunate situation on Phillips Avenue. Just this past weekend, unfortunately, we had an officer-involved shooting. We do more now than we ever have to try to follow up, take care of our officers, give them the resources they need, and Sergeant Owens, who's in charge of our wellness unit, every single day is researching new things, new strategies, new partnerships inside of the community to help our officers. So that's an ongoing process, always has to stay front of our mind, and it is 100% a top priority. When you start to think about, all of the things they deal with, it has to be a top priority. Yeah.
We're going to take one more question. Okay. Is staffing in the department where you want it to be, and how do you plan on working on recruitment? What are your plans there?
So staffing is not where we want it to be. It hasn't been where we would want it to be for a long time, and there's a variety of factors that play into that. Of course, every organization would love to have more people and more specialty units, and I think we just got, somebody reached out to us the other day and said, hey, you should bring back the mounted unit. And it takes people to do these things. So, of course, we would love to have more people. The reality is, nationwide, police departments are all facing staffing shortages. Coming out of 2020 and all of the negativity that occurred over a couple of years there, people have just gotten out of the business of wanting to be the police. And so what we can do internally is take care of our officers first and foremost, make this a place that they want to work and that they want to stay. Our greatest recruiting force is our police department, is the men and women of this police department going out and encouraging family and friends to come on board. And if we take care of our officers and make this an attractive place to work and make sure that our officers are taken care of and they're happy, then that should naturally bring more people interested in working for the Toledo Police Department. So that's what we intend to do.
Well, I think at the very end, we learned that if Chief Troendle's wife is the happiest person in the world, I think that means that Chief Braun's wife is the unhappiest person in the world. And she is a former Toledo police officer, so she would know a thing or two about this. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. And I know on public safety, we have a news conference Friday morning on the officer-involved shooting, so we'll probably see a lot of you again on Friday. Thank you.